we get on these phone calls and we talk about stuff, and then we break out into smaller groups, and we use these groups and these breakouts as a little bit of a technology to go through a process together. But I've been really reflecting on like what I'm trying to do here and why I'm doing this and spending all my time. And I go back to a couple of years back when it dawned on me through all the coaching and modeling that I was trying to get out in the world that I didn't really see that many great role models in terms of men in the world that I wanted to be like. Okay, yeah, there's guys that are really successful. There's guys that are further along than me in certain areas, business-wise, spiritually, and there's ways to always learn. But in general, I wasn't really seeing like the best versions of men out there. Okay, and I was actually looking for that. I really wanted to find that within myself, and I was searching for it for a long time. And that's part of how this all began. And whenever I do a program and I reach out, right, when I reach out for these challenges and I say, hey, come on in, right? You guys all found me some way on Facebook, right? And you came in. There's 3 types of men that kind of find this and join in, okay? All of us are playing the game. We're playing some form of game here. One version of man that comes in is someone that's played the game really well, right? They've kind of found the right relationships or family, the right career. They've kind of like went along and experienced some success, in various components. They're healthy in a lot of different ways. To the outside world, this guy looks pretty good, right? Looks pretty good, but really internally is struggling, right? And is wondering, man, I played this game the way I was supposed to. I achieved the things that I was supposed to, but I'm not feeling as happy and satisfied on the inside. Like I'm still kind of bored and anxious, and like there's more that I want, and I'm not really sure how or why to get there. Okay, and there's a component of guys, we all have all of these, right? But that's a component of a man, an avatar of a guy that comes into a program like this. He's like, man, like I've done everything I was supposed to do, but I can't really find the joy and the excitement on the inside, right? Then we got the second version, which is somebody who's been really trying, to play the game and has had some, experiences of success, of abundance, but hasn't really kind of nailed it, right? Like really wants to achieve, wants success, and wants to experience certain things within career, finances, relationship, health, whatever it may be, but hasn't done it yet and is looking for a Kickstarter for something to amplify and get better. That's also a great game to play and a place of growth to be in, right? Because you want to actually get better in what you're doing. And those guys will come in here, say, all right, like, let's see what this guy's got. Let's see what we can do, using these technologies and these tools to see if I can better myself, right? And then there's kind of the third kind of man that will come in here who's a little bit more lost, hasn't really found his place in the world and is just looking for a place to grow and find himself more spiritually or emotionally, okay? And all 3 of those men, and again, guys, this is not black or white. Like we all have various parts of ourselves in those 3 avatars, are welcome here. We've really tried hard in our programs to create an environment where men can come in and be vulnerable and just kind of share wherever they're at to figure out what they really want to do. And then the tools that we provide are geared to helping them achieve what's unique for them. And I think one of the things that we are battling against in general, okay, is this idea that the way that the game is set up is not necessarily set up in a way that really gives us the amount of joy and happiness that we want. And it's kind of a humbling thing to realize, right? The way that the world, our education systems and everything is kind of geared, we go to school, we get jobs, we do all this, and then we come out and like, even the guys that like have done it all, okay, don't find the level of joy that you would expect for the most part. Some do, okay, but for the most part don't. And they come into something like this looking for how to find that, how to create that spark and that excitement, okay? And I think what we need to do is look at the fundamental nature of the game, all right? So when I look at man for man, and when I look at you guys, and the questions that I'm always posing to yourself are things like, well, what do you really want? Like, what is it that you want in this life? Okay, look, we're here on this call right now, 25 guys on Tuesday, December 29th, 2020. It's been a crazy, intense year. We've been through the ringer in so many different ways. Some guys are really going through it right now. Okay, there's real stresses, there's real anxiety financially, in a lot of different ways, career-wise, relationships are challenged right now. We've been in quarantine. This has been a really challenging year, right? So we want to honor that and start right there. But for me, I'm always looking at, well, what is the greatest possible future, that we're looking towards? What is it? That's what I'm always trying to push you guys to kind of get to. Because on the one hand, we can deal with the healing that's necessary, okay? And guys, I always have a big distinction between healing work and transformation work. Healing is what I would consider where we're looking at the past and we're trying to understand why these patterns that we have exist. And we're trying to heal them. And that's necessary, okay? There's a lot of value in doing healing work. That's what therapy is all about, right? That's what a lot of programs like this can be about. Healing, bringing up patterns of the past, healing them so we can move forward and get better. But really what I'm more interested in, okay, and this is where I'm at in my life and what I really push forward in our programs and on Tuesday Tribes and everything, is the more transformational component of okay, the guys that really come here are where they're at and they're looking towards the future and all right, what do I want to do with my time left? And it doesn't mean that we dismiss healing, because healing comes up in this process, but what is it that we can really do over the next 10, 20, 30, 50 years, depending on our age, to really create that feeling of abundance, fulfillment, excitement, joy, so that when we pass and we're no longer here, we pass with a sense of ease, we were used by spirit, that our whole body, our mind, our emotions were used. We're done. We gave it all. We left it on the table. For those of you guys that are athletes, there's that saying in sports where, the guy just leaves it on the court. I want to leave my life on the court. Anyone else want to leave their life on the court? I'm just sick of, I was sick for so many years, just sitting on the sidelines, not feeling like I was being used, fully used. Okay. And I'm sharing all this because I want to just shine a clear light on the fact that the game that we're all kind of ingratiated into isn't necessarily set up for us to find that level of expression. Okay. That's what it is. The system has kind of devised us in a way where we're not fully unleashed. All right. And that's totally cool. Right. But what we can do is we can find it now. Right. And that's the core. That's the essence of what I believe Man for Man and this platform is all about. Okay. We come on these calls. We go through processes together. We do challenges. Some of you guys come into our 6-week program and you really go deep, into the actual process, about what we're doing, right? And you really uncover something. And really what we're doing is we're creating a different default relationship with the stimuli and the events of our lives. That's what I really believe is at stake here. And when you do that, you start to experience life differently. Okay, it's very deep. It's very spiritual in some sense, but you do it with a more cognitive, awareness about what we're actually doing. Okay, so everything that we do in our programs, this whole thing that we do, is really about shifting that default relationship so that way you're set up to experience freedom of expression, right? Freedom of experience. Okay, and it isn't perfect, but we work at it and we stay with it and we're consistent with it, right? I'm an example of this, right? I'm still in this process. Of course, I'm not sitting on some mountaintop, but when I come on here, part of my role here is to say these things. And I'm saying it to myself too, I'm saying it to myself too, to remind me that's what it takes. And then we go into small breakouts and we talk about it with our brothers. And we say, all right, this is what I want. This is really what I'm working on right now. Because we've gotten sequestered by so many issues and little things and compulsions and addictions and things that are not serving the greatest expression of ourselves, okay? And what we got to do is just bust through that, full on bust through that. So guys, I welcome you, into this one meeting. There's a big group of guys on this call, man. I'm just feeling so good. Everyone give me a little chest tap right now, because there's just such a really powerful group of brothers on this call, man. I'm feeling the energy right now. So beautiful that you guys are coming on here. I really believe that what we're doing here is so incredibly unique. I was talking with a couple of the guys that were on early, and there's millions of men out there that need this, this just space to feel that, oh man, I could be free, that there's a different series of possibilities about my future, right? Because we're so blinded by the present moment that we forget that we can actually shift the needle, shift the trajectory, and we have to start by using our imagination. You got to use your imagination, otherwise you're stuck. Okay, so that's training. You need to be trained how to reprogram your mind a little bit. That's part of what we do. Writing the eulogy is a practice of imagination, where I push you guys to say, well, what the hell do I want at the end of my life? What's the most ideal thing that could be said about me when I'm no longer here? To me, that's a technology, right? And the practice is trying to get yourself to envision what that is, right? Now, when you're going through tough times, like real tough times, like things are tough and you're going through it, part of this, and that's also very okay. That's a part of what we do here. We support each other as men. Okay, but know that you got to keep your eye on the bigger picture, right? That this is just a process. Growth is not a linear path up. There's ups and there's downs. There's bumps and there's bruises along the way. But in general, if we're continuing to say yes, 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 I want it. I want that best version of me. I want to experience what's that like. We are traversing upward. Even when there's bumps and bruises in the road,